Now we're going to talk about the different workflows in healthcare domain, and here I'm here to show you my notes which I have created about the workflows in the healthcare domain. Right, so this is something that I have done with pure interest, and I've seen a lot of value, okay, when you create workflows in a healthcare domain. So at first, let's try to understand the logic of how the healthcare domain works. Okay, so you do have an organization which is the central point, okay, and this organization is the one which serves, okay, the purpose. Okay, and we would take the OPD as one of the instances over here. Okay, how the OPD works. Okay, now we do have different roles. Okay, the role of a provider, okay, who provides service to the organization, and then the provider also takes care of the patients. That's the sole purpose of providing the service. Okay, now organization is the center point. Okay, who it treats is the big question. Okay, it treats the patients. Okay, and why do we treat the patients is because they have a reason. Okay, why they want to come to your organization to avail your services. Maybe you're the center of excellence for one kind of ailment, or there is the best services that you have provided. But where are these services provided? These services are provided within your organization. So this is the center point. Okay, if you see for many of the activities, and when do we provide the service within the organization? When there is a need. And this is the most important thing that all of us need to understand. What are the needs of the patient over here? The patient could have an emergency, okay, which will be taken care by the emergency department, and you have the non-emergency clinical situations, okay, which are taken care by mostly by the OPDs, your day surgeries, and your inpatient. So there are several kinds of non-emergency services. Okay, now we would classify them as such. Okay, one is the OPD. Okay, and then we have another one called as the inpatient. Okay, then we have short stay. Okay, then you have the long-term care that is provided, then purely a surgical care that is provided. Okay, and the newer after COVID we have seen are the teleconsultations. Okay, so these are some of the few services which we would classify as non-emergency services, and today we are going to talk about, okay, mainly about the OPD service. Okay, what happens in an OPD service, okay, how things go about in an OPD service. That is our core concentration in today's session. So OPD instance we're going to take is a day in OPD visit for a single appointment visit. Okay, so what happens, okay, in OPD? First, you need to have an appointment created. Okay, an appointment has to be present. Okay, which means the patient has got a requirement, okay, to avail the services, and this is taken care by the registration team. Okay, your registration team can create the appointment, or the patient, they can go ahead and create this appointment on their own. Okay, now we will come to that. Okay, that's called as a patient portal. Okay, very important tool for the healthcare organizations. So once the appointment has been placed, okay, then you have to confirm whether the patient is really coming in for that particular service on that particular day with that particular doctor. So once the confirmation is done, this is again done by the registration team. They would confirm if you're coming in for the service. Then on that particular day, okay, when you come into the organization, okay, everybody needs to know that you have honored the appointment that you have taken, which is confirmed. Okay, and you have now come into the organization, that is to the hospital, that is to the OPD. Okay, once this check-in is done, okay, then the clinical team, okay, now they will be notified saying that this particular patient has come in. Okay, so that's when the first activity happens. Immediately after check-in, it is the nurse, okay, who would be notified that the patient has arrived and they need to begin with their tasks. Okay, so we will go, they have a set of tasks, okay, that they will do it in sequence. Okay, and the nurse, moment the task is completed or she keeps updating the task, now that task is reflected in the electronic medical record. Okay, and from the electronic medical record, the information is passed on to the clinical team. That is the second part of the clinical team, and they are the physicians. So by the time the patient reaches the physician, he would have the data that was captured by the nurses. Okay, and he would also have past data about the patient if it is applicable. Okay, and the physician is ready for the visit. Once the patient reaches the physician, then after all these initial reviews, he will go ahead and start with his particular tasks, where he does the clinical investigations and the clinical examination, clinical history taking, a lot of the things that happen. So in an OPD, you also have the allied team, okay, who play a very important role. Okay, and of such importance, we need to talk about pharmacy, the laboratory services, okay, if there are any additional diagnostics, and there are some specialized services that we would like to classify as additional services. Okay, so in the OPD visit on that particular day, these are some of the tasks which the physician may require, okay, before he or she could come up with a decision for the patient. Okay, so they would go ahead and place some medication orders. Okay, they may order some labs for the patient. Maybe there are some x-rays or MRIs or CT scans which have been lined up, or there may be some physiotherapy or dietitian calls that is required, or maybe this patient requires a frequent follow-up. Okay, so all of this is now taken care by the physician through the option of placing orders. Okay, so this is how the system has to be configured for the physician so that he could complete all the tasks, and all these activities are now at a centralized location, and this is called as the electronic medical record. Okay, so electronic medical record becomes your final state, okay, or your repository for all the activities. So this is in a quick nutshell. I just wanted to show you what are the different aspects of one particular clinical workflow. Now in detail, we will get on to the OPD workflow. In detail, we will talk about how the registration happens, what are the different aspects of registration, the task by the nurses, the physician, the interaction between them, then interaction between the clinical team and the allied team, and how the registration staff always play an important role. Okay, through and through, okay, they play a very important role in the patient's journey. All right, so with this quick wrap up, I would say if you have any questions, please do let us know or give us a shout out, and we would be more than happy to answer your questions. We will be coming up with a lot more such frequent videos, okay, and also short snippets of all the workflows, and that's how we would learn and start sharing the information that we have. Anyway, stay tuned, stay tuned till the next video, and thanks for your participation. Good day.